My name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Roofs, Beards, and Gear, we're going to check out the all-new Black Oyster MIDI Drum Kit from Drumatica. So in all of the years I've been doing this YouTube channel, I have used about 1 million MIDI virtual drum kits, for the mixed tunes that you guys see on the channel often, and it's rare that I find one that has the pop, that has the panache, that has the sauce. It's rare that I find a MIDI drum kit that has the sauce like this one that we are checking out today, the new Black Oyster MIDI Drum Kit from Drumatica. And before we go any further, you can consider this a sponsored video. Drumatica has asked me to show you guys the Black Oyster Kit. However, they have no input in this video, and if you would like a discount on your purchase of the Black Oyster Kit, I will link down below in the description. But with that, all thoughts and opinions are still mine. So this particular Black Oyster Kit was captured in a room that I am intimately familiar with and that you've seen on this channel a gazillion times, Studio A, the big live room at Sweetwater Studios, which is pretty cool. This is the first time that I've ever gone, oh yeah, I know that room. It's amazing sounding. Now, the samples themselves were recorded at Sweetwater Studios, and then they were handed on over to the very capable Darrell Thorp, who's recorded and won a gazillion. The man has so many Grammys, he's like, ugh, another one? Let's put it in the pile. He has worked with Beck, Switchfoot, Foo Fighters, amongst many, many, many other small up-and-coming indie artists like Foo Fighters and Beck. Oh boy. So Darrell took the samples of the drum kit and made them big old rock machines, and real talk, he did a phenomenal job. So in case you didn't know, the Black Oyster Kit itself is a classic Ludwig kit, and what really sets this particular kit apart from others is it's kind of timeless sounding, is how I would describe it. It works for anything, rock or otherwise, and it's been on 1 million recordings since the 60s, really. So then when you put all of those qualities into a MIDI drum plugin and then add all of the bells and whistles that the Black Oyster Kit plugin has, you get a kit that will work with just about any musical situation you can throw at it, whether that is rock, hard rock, metal, pop, and everything in between. It literally works with everything. Enough of my yapping, let's hear this thing in the context of a full mix, shall we? All right, now that I got the full mix out of the way, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a walkthrough. Let's hang out. I'm going to show you around the plugin itself. I'm gonna play a couple of different MIDI beats, and I'm gonna show you just all of the things that the Black Oyster Kit plugin has, all right? We're gonna go through the reverbs. I'm gonna show you the EQ section, the one-shot section to add and layer in some samples if you so choose. We're gonna go through the individual snares and the kick drums, etc., etc. Let's just hang out and go through the plugin. All right, so I have the Black Oyster Kit from Drumatica open. I'm gonna take you through it. We're gonna play some samples. We're just gonna kind of poke around. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some fun. This is the base kit as I have had it. I've done some tweaks to it, which we'll go over in just a second. What you are hearing is just a stereo instance, and that's what you also heard in the mix, all right? So anything that I'm doing, I'm not multiing out and layering and processing and all that kind of stuff. This is just the drum plugin, all right? Stereo instance, let's get into it. Obviously, we have the drum kit. First, I'm going to start with the snares because I think all the snares are very, very useful. I also love, there's a ringy boy, and I do love a ringy boy. However, I'm going to play a familiar beat, and we're going to kind of go through the individual sounds of the drums, and then we will get into the nitty gritty of, you know, all of these sections. We'll get there. Let's play something. I love that. That's actually pretty fitting. Those are the kicks and the snares. Now, the snares are as follows. We have a Ludwig, the Maple Black Oyster, of course. We also have a Black Beauty. We have a Chrome over Brass. We have another Black Beauty that's really, really dry. And then we have the Acro Copper, which is my favorite. I would say it's so good. So just quack. Now, as far as the kicks go, there's a lot of kicks here. Of course, we have the Black Oyster Ludwig 22-inch. We have the 22-inch Black Oyster Maple. Wait, both these are Maple. Oh yeah, buzz, no buzz, excuse me. We basically have no buzz and buzz variants for a lot of these. Glacier Blue Maple, this is my favorite. I just like the clickiness of it. That's no buzz, buzz. Pretty good. 26-inch. Go-goon, get your Tommy Lee on. We also have tom resonances with the PDP. I actually really like the resonance. I think it really pokes through in the context of a mix. Gives you just that nice sustain. I love a big kick drum. That one's cool too. Let's try this on this other beat. Now for the cymbals, it's just what they are, right? They're basically just Zildjians. Oh, there's a Peisty here. I prefer the Zildjians. The Peisty, what's cool about this kit is the Peisties still work with the Zildjians. It's not like you have to pick all of one or the other. Yeah. The tom sound great. Now over here we have a full kit ambience. This adds some room. I will have that on the entirety of this video. I just think it adds a lot of dimension to the kit personally, but you can turn it on and or off or on if you'd like. Now let's get into the actual mixing part. So for the kick and snare, we basically have similar controls for each part of the kit, all right? So we have an IR reverb, and this is basically split, right? So the left is the kick, right is the snare. We basically have IR reverbs that we can add and blend in as we see fit. ATMG is anti-machine gun control. This is most applicable on the snare, but if you're doing super hard metal, you might want to add it for the kick as well. But the anti-machine gunning is just going to basically make it so you can't have that fixed velocity kind of a thing that's inherent with a lot of MIDI drums or misprogramming of MIDI drums. Nice feature, and you can set the threshold with this control right here. You can link IR effects if you'd like. This is going to universally kind of control, let's turn on the links for both these, and this is going to affect the amounts the same way if we have them engaged. Going down below, we have balance, ambience, EQ, and page 2, an envelope control. Now, typically for me, I'm not really messing with the envelopes and stuff too often, if ever. If I like the sound of something, I generally leave it alone as far as, hold, decay, and attack times and stuff. But your mileage may vary. EQ, we basically have an SSL EQ, which is very comfortable for me. In the ambience sections, we have stereo overheads, we have the center room, which is the stereo mic, and then we have a wide room. These little lightning bolts are extra processing. Think of these as basically just saturation and energy adding. I like these on. I really like the sound of these, but if you want an all natural, you would turn these off. Let's listen to just the ambience. You can really hear it in the overheads. Snare off, on. And then of course, under the balance section, we have the master control for the volume. This is basically, think of this as your bus volume, right, for kick and snare, because down here, getting to the faders, we have the individual mics. We have, kick in, kick out, kick sub. We have the smashed mics. This is going to be your parallel. Then we have the snare top, bottom, and smashed. And then we have the one-shot editor. Now, I don't have these on, but I'm about to turn them on. You can load your own IRs, and right now, I have the new Drumatica stack shots from Bobby Huff. I'm a big fan of his channel. His channel's fantastic for just great mix tips and stuff. These are from his pack that just came out. I like that you can, well, I'm muted, so I don't know why I'm clicking on these. These are samples that are similar to the Black album. And you can also integrate the IR reverb to them if you want, right? So I can turn this off if I want. Doesn't really need it, but now that, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm getting excited. Let's mute these. I'm gonna play the drum kit and then I'm gonna unmute these. And layering some one-shots can be a very powerful tool to add a lot of zazz and energy. So let's go ahead and play this beat. Now, of course, with our one-shots, we have pan, tune, decay, and volume controls along with the threshold. These are so sick. So let's turn down the volume of the snare one-shot. I'll blend it back in. And you can see, I just flipped the phase and you heard the kit come way in. Now, with phase, I don't like to say there's a right or wrong. I just like to say there's a cool and less cool. But let's... Pretty cool. We can do other one-shots within. So this is using the plugin's own one-shots, and the left side is the user, right? So these are the ones that you would drop in, third party, that kind of stuff. Moving on, toms. You'll see a lot of the same stuff we did for the kick and snare. We have reverb IRs, balance, ambience, EQ, and envelope controls. These are all the same, right? SSL, EQ, ambience, and of course we have the basically the saturation and energy controls and the actual individual faders. Panning, obviously you can do to taste. Cymbals, again, IR reverb, ambience, bounce. This is meant to just be very, very quick and intuitive, so you can just skip right on over, and all the sections are basically the same throughout the kick, snare, toms, and crashes. And then you have your hi-hat and ride controls. This is how I have mine set up. I basically took the stock preset and just kind of tweaked it a little bit how I personally wanted it. Let's go crazy. I love the big old kick drum with this beat, this Queens of the Stone Age-ish beat. All right, so what do I think? These samples are a lot of fun. They have a lot of sauce, but you don't have to have the sauce if you don't want it to, haha, because the ability to turn the saturation and some of the bells and whistles on and off is something that I look for in any MIDI drum plugin. However, I think this does strike a balance between, you know, the really, really deep, complicated drum kits like, you know, Superior Drummer 3 that can get really, really deep, but also swinging the other end of the Get Good One Kit Wonder series, which is a very simplified drum kit across all of the different kits that are offered in that line. This is something in between those two extremes for me. So if I want to get deep, I can get deep. But if I don't care, if I just want to get a sound, I can just get a sound with the Black Oyster kit, and I like that. And that's really evidenced by the fact that I've just used a stereo instance of this plugin for the entirety of this video. I didn't feel the need to multi out and individually process individual pieces of the kit. I just stereo outed it and called it good, and it was great. If you'd like more information on all things Black Oyster Kit, I will link down below in the description. And with that, you've been wonderful, I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.